Hi guys, welcome to YOGALATES with SJ. Today we have a most effective full body home workout. We're going to begin in standing. So when you're ready, coming to either hip width or shoulder width apart with the feet and finding a core engagement, neutral pelvis. Inhale as you sweep the arms up, looking up. Exhale as you bring the arms out wide and hinging at the hips, releasing down, forward fold. Inhale as you roll the spine, vertebra by vertebra, coming back up, releasing, arms come down, and inhale. Coming all the way back down to your forward fold, letting go. Inhale, coming all the way back up, rolling the spine. Exhale as you let the shoulders come down and away from the ears, palms are facing forward, staying here for a moment and finding that neutral pelvis. Inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale as you shine the heart forward, hinging at the hips, releasing, forward fold. Inhale, rolling the spine, chin to chest as you come all the way back up, and then inhale again as you sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale, releasing down, forward fold. Inhale, rolling the spine, vertebra by vertebra, coming back up to standing, and then inhale, sweeping the arms up. Exhale, coming down, forward fold. Inhale, rolling the spine, and exhale, releasing the arms down. Inhale, sweeping the arms up, looking up. Exhale, releasing down, forward fold. Inhale, rolling back up. Exhale, releasing here. We're going to stay here, and you're just starting to lift one heel, then the other. We're keeping a neutral pelvis. We are keeping everything still. It is just a lift up of one heel and then the other. We're not locking out those knees. You've got a soft core engagement here, closing the ribs, shoulders away from the ears, and maybe starting to move this a little bit faster, finding a little bit more into the calves, into the back of the legs, lifting up out of the pelvic floor. So feeling that long line, drawing all the way up the center line and feeling yourself growing a little bit taller. Breathing. Beautiful. Few more here. Inhale and exhale. We are working through every muscle today in the body. We're toning, we're sculpting. We are also increasing the metabolism. Amazing. And we're staying here. We're starting to come down into a squat. So you're starting to bring the arms forward as you sit back into the heels and then pressing back up to standing. Sitting back down into those heels, lifting the toes, and then exhale as you come back up through standing, keeping this going. So as we do this, we just want to make sure that the knees are not coming forward of the toes. You are sitting back into the heels. So lifting the toes up a little bit to ensure that you are doing that. We don't want the knees to roll inward. We want to make sure those knees are either tracking directly forward or slightly out to the sides. And we are using those glute muscles and the back of the legs to power you back up. Keeping your core engaged. You've got length through the back of the neck. Making sure that you are breathing. Exhale to power up. Inhale as you sit back into your heels and your core is engaged. Navel to spine, neutral pelvis, reaching the arms forward. Exhale to power it back up. Awesome. We're going to add in a toe tap. So staying here, you're going to drop down into your squat. Exhale to power up. And then you are tapping the right toes and then coming back to your squat and then tapping the left toes to the left. So continuing with this, as you do so, we want to make sure that we're really sitting back into those heels as we come down. We are not locking out through the supporting leg. So the knee of that leg, you're not locking it out. You're keeping length here from the pelvis all the way up out the top of the head the whole time. You are dropping down and lifting back up, finding all of those muscles. Shoulders are away from the ears and sitting down. Exhale, power it up and coming all the way back to the other side. Seeing if you can keep your weight through that center line too. So rather than rocking the hips over to the side, trying to keep long here as you come up. Awesome. Staying here, guys, we're going to come onto the left foot and you're starting to lift and lower the right leg. So you're working from the hip and the outside of that glute on the right side. So imagine that it is the glute and the outer thigh lifting and lowering the leg rather than the foot lifting and lowering. So the foot's just coming along for a ride, just keeping the hips square here and keeping your core engaged, a neutral pelvis. And this time we're going to start to sweep the foot forward, toe tapping forward and then tapping the toes out to the side here. So it's just a sweep around, toe tap, and a sweep around and toe tap. Again, trying to keep everything really still here. So it is only the leg moving. You have got your core engaged. Jaw is relaxed. You are keeping your pelvis in that neutral. Lifting up tall, feeling as though you're being drawn all the way up towards the ceiling. Awesome. Let's come to the other side, guys. So you're starting to lift and lower that left leg. Again, bringing your mind to the outer thigh and the glute, lifting and lowering the leg. It is straight out and down, keeping everything nice and still, making sure you're not locking out through that right knee. So you are using the muscles of the legs rather than coming into the joints. Awesome. Starting to bring the foot forward and bring it out to the side, and then bringing it forward and toe tap out to that side. Keeping this going, keeping the hips nice and open here, keeping the shoulders relaxed, seeing if you can keep as still as you can. This is really good for your balance as well. You might want to fix your eyes onto something to help with balance. Awesome. And coming forward, toe tap and out to the side and forward, out to the side. Awesome. Staying here, bringing the feet out a little bit wider, toes are turned out and heels are slightly turned in. And then inhale as you sweep the arms up, looking up. Exhale as you sit down into your squat, and then inhale as you press back up to standing, looking up, and allow the arms to come all the way down. Sitting back down into your squat, inhale as you lengthen up, looking up, opening the arms out, and then starting to drop back down into the squat. Keeping this going, we are opening out. So we're opening the arms out, finding that openness of heart, and we are also keeping the hips nice and open here. The knees are tracking directly kind of in line with the hips here as you squat down, or they are slightly kind of coming outward. We don't want to roll the knees inward, so staying still and stable here through the pelvis. And we're pressing into those heels to power up to stand, starting to drop the right shoulder as you gaze over the left. And then coming to the other side, you are dropping that left shoulder as you gaze over the right, opening up the hips here. And then staying in the squat, we're going to find some little baby pulses. You're coming down really low, sitting back into the heels, and pulse it up and down, keeping length into the spine, keeping this going. And inhale, exhale, sitting down a little bit lower, inhale, exhale, making sure those knees are not coming forward of the toes. And then we are pressing all the way back up to standing. We're going to start to lift the right heel up, and then we're going to lift the left heel up. So we're going to start to just move with this, lifting one heel, lowering it down, then the other, lowering it down, keeping your hips nice and square and open. We have got the toes turned out and the heels slightly turned in, and you're going to make this a little bit quicker. So seeing if you can move with this so that it's almost like you're not actually bringing the heel all the way down before moving to the other side. We want to make sure that we are keeping really still through the rest of the body. It is just a lift up and lower down of each heel, making sure you're breathing, and we are going to stay here. Bringing the arms down by your sides, bringing the feet out a little bit wider, and the toes are pointing forward. Inhale as you start to sweep the arms up, looking up. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips and finding length, releasing all the way down, forward fold. Starting to walk the hands to the front of the mat, and you're lowering down, making your way to a seated position. We're going to start to sit up nice and tall here. You've got the knees bent, the soles of the feet are onto your mat, bringing the arms forward, shoulders away from the ears, and we're starting to bring the belly button to spine as you come back, and then inhale as you start to come back up, lengthening up. Exhale as you bring belly button to spine as you come back to a little half roll down, keeping this going through center, using your core muscles. And then next time you come back, we're going to open the right arm out to the right, coming back through center, and then left arm opens to the left and back through center and coming forward and hinging back, opening the right arm out, then the left, and gaze is following, and then sitting up tall as you come back up through center and coming back, navel to spine, opening right, then left, letting the gaze follow, and then inhale, sitting up tall, lifting up, exhale as you come back, keep this going, opening right, opening left, and inhale, really, really lifting up all the way to the ceiling, and then tucking the tailbone slightly as you come all the way back to that halfway point. We're going to stay here, guys. We're going to open the arms out to the sides, bringing the arms through center, and then lifting the arms up, and then opening the arms out. So almost imagining that you have a little ball in your hands, and you're bringing it up and overhead, then you're bringing it forward, and then you're opening out and closing those arms back up, and keeping your core engaged. You can sit up a little bit taller if you're finding this too challenging to be at this halfway point. We just want to make sure that we are maintaining that core engagement the whole time, not bringing any tension into the hips. So just kind of imagining that you're drawing the heels back towards the glutes so that you can kind of take any pressure out of those hip flexors here, and making sure that you have got your core engaged the whole time. You are finding length. Awesome. Next time you come up, we're just bringing the right arm up and around, backstroke, and then the left. Bringing that left arm up and around. Staying here, and we are starting to lengthen the legs in front of you. Sitting up nice and tall here, elbows coming close to the body, and starting to reach the hands forward, and then bend through the elbows as you draw the back of the arms to the back wall, and bringing the arms forward, and then bending through the elbows as you use the back of the arms to draw all the way back. Shoulders are away from the ears. You've got length through the back of the neck. Keep this going. You're sitting up tall out of that pelvic floor, lifting up, feeling this beautiful long line from the base of the spine all the way up out the top of the head. You have got a very soft flex of the toes back towards the face to protect the knees. Next time you come up, we're going to stay here. You're just going to start to hinge slightly forward, and then bend the left elbow and draw it back, and then bend the right elbow and draw it back. So we are bending at each elbow as we find this little hinge, keeping your core engaged. You've still got that length through the back of the neck. You're working into the back of the arms, the tricep muscles here, and still keeping some nice openness across the throat, the heart center here, and lifting up tall. This time bringing both elbows back and bringing the fingertips down next to the hips here, and then we are going to bring the soles of the feet together, the knees out wide, letting the outside of the knees and the outer thighs to relax, coming to a butterfly position of the legs, sitting up nice and tall as you reach the arms forward, finding that little roll back. So you are slightly tucking the tailbone as you start to bring your belly button to spine and come back. And then you are closing the knees back inward as you draw back up to that neutral, and then starting to come back and open the knees out, and then closing the knees as you start to sit up tall, and then coming back, opening the knees out, and then using that kind of connection of the inner thighs to close back together as it draws you back up to your seated position, that long line, and sitting up nice and tall. You might find yourself coming down a little bit lower each time, but we really, really want to make sure that the whole time we do have that core engagement, just working at your own pace, at your own range. So it doesn't need to be very far with this. You don't have to come back very far to feel this in your core. We're also getting into the inner thighs, the outer thighs, the hips. Everything is getting worked on today. This is a short workout. We're only here for 20 minutes, but it is highly effective. We are doing all of the good things. Awesome. Next time you come up, we're going to stay here. We're going to come to a kneeling position. So coming to your knees, and making sure that the tops of the feet and the knees are in that same line. We're letting the shoulders be down and away from the ears. Inhale as you sweep the arms up. Exhale as you cactus open the arms, palms facing forward. And then closing the elbows together and the forearms come together, and then you're opening the heart out. Then you're sitting the pelvis back towards the heels as you lengthen the arms forward, and then inhale, coming up, rising up. Exhale, sitting back towards the heels, reaching the arms forward, child's pose. Inhale, rolling up, reaching up towards the ceiling. Exhale as you come all the way down, child's pose. Keeping this flowing so you're finding a beautiful release of the pelvis towards the heels as you come to your child's pose, and then you're rolling the spine, chin to chest as you roll all the way back up, coming to that high kneeling, and then reaching the arms up and then releasing back down as you come to your child's pose. So you're using your belly button to spine to roll you up. Awesome. Next time you come up through center, just making a little washing machine motion of the body. So we are twisting from side to side, letting the arms float. And then we are starting to bring the right hand to come to the left waist, and the left back of the left forearm is coming to the low back, and the gaze is coming over towards the right side, finding length through the left side of the neck. Then we are switching to the other side, keeping that neutral pelvis. You're bringing the left forearm to the front of the body, and the back of the right arm is to the low back. You're gazing over the left shoulder, finding length through the right side of the neck. Shoulders are away from the ears, and then coming all the way back through center. And we are coming all the way down to our back. So just coming down, bringing the soles of the feet onto the mat, bringing the arms out with an open heart here. Back of the hands connecting, elbows are just below the shoulders, and you're starting to close those forearms together, and then you are gluing the forearms as you press up and then opening back out. So we are keeping the elbows and the forearms together as just a tiny little lift up from those elbows, pressing up, and then we are coming down and opening the heart as you let the back of the forearms come to the mat, opening up through the front side of the heart center, as well as finding that connection of the whole spine connected to your mat. Soft core engagement. Awesome. And then we are staying here. We're going to start to bring the hands, or the left hand actually, behind the head. The right fingertips are pointing towards the right knee. You're going to lift the head and shoulders up, and we're making a little crunch up and down, keeping length through the back of the neck. It is a very small little lift up and down, belly button to spine, using your core muscles to lift and lower. Accent is on the lift, so you are lifting, 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 keeping a little bit of space between the chin and the chest, and then switching through center. So bringing both hands behind the head and tiny little pulses up and down, little pulses. Elbows are out wide, shoulders are away from the ears, lifting and lowering, keeping it going, belly button to spine. Use your core. And just a few more here, breathing in, breathing out, and let's come to the other side. So staying up here, and you're reaching the left fingertips towards the left knee. The right hand is still behind the head, and you're just lifting up and lowering down. Tiny little lift and lower. Keep this going, breathing deeply in through the nose, out the nose or mouth. And then taking a moment here and releasing, coming all the way down. And we are just allowing the left leg to lengthen up. Maybe moving into the foot, the ankle, flexing the toes back towards the face, pressing the heel up towards the ceiling. Anything that feels good here with this. And just finding a little bit of an articulation of that foot. Then you're just starting to come to the other side. So standing the right foot up onto the ceiling, flexing the toes back, any kind of movement into the ankle, toes, the feet. Taking a few cleansing breaths in through the nose and out the nose or mouth as we start to unwind a little bit. We're starting to come to the end of our workout today. And starting to bring the knees in towards the chest, and you're pressing those heels up towards the ceiling. Then you're dropping the back of the heels towards the pelvis, and then shifting the knees slightly forward, and then drawing the knees back in, and then lengthening those legs back up as you press the heels up towards the ceiling. Toes flex back towards the face. So it's just a little shift forward, and then lengthening the legs up, and then bending through the knees as the back of the heels drop towards the pelvis. We're working into those low abs, as well as finding some stretch and some strength here into the core muscles, as well as the glutes. So we are working into the back of the hamstrings as well, and also onto the calf muscles a little bit too. So just pressing those heels up as you flex the toes back, and then bending into the knees as you drop down and shifting forward, keeping that core connection. Awesome. Coming all the way down, guys, and we're finding a little happy baby here. So just taking hold of somewhere on the legs. It might be behind the knees. It might be reaching up and grabbing hold of the outside of the feet, letting the knees come out wide, and relaxing the tummy muscles, finding length through the tailbone, taking any kind of movement here that feels good, or you might just drop down into stillness, allowing the back of the heels to relax to the pelvis. Maybe you might find a straighter leg here, lengthening into the back of the legs. And just finding a lengthening down of the tailbone, and finding that heavy pelvis as you hold on to the feet, or maybe somewhere on the legs, trying to find a bit more length through the back of the legs as you press the heels up towards the ceiling, opening the legs out, and then closing those legs back in toward each other. And starting to press the heels up towards the ceiling, flexing the toes back, and then starting to open the legs out into a split position again. Grounding the tailbone down, and finding maybe a little bit of movement into this, bending one knee and then bending the other, letting the feet kind of come together into a butterfly position. Knees are opened out wide, and then taking your time to close those knees back inward together, and wrapping your hands around the front side of the knees or shins, letting the feet relax, letting all of the toes release any movement into the feet that feels good. Maybe a little rock from side to side, finding those cleansing breaths as we finish off. You can stay here and continue on to stretch for as long as you like before going about the rest of your day or night. It was so nice to have you join me today. If you enjoyed the workout, you might like to subscribe to the channel for more. I can't wait to see you again soon. Have an amazing day, whatever it is that you're doing. See you soon.